The list of myths and stereotypes about redheads seem endless, but all joking about the redheaded stepchild aside, it turns out that our ginger sisters and brothers really do have a special set of attributes that their blonde and brunette counterparts don't. Genetic mutation. One of the reasons it's so hard to convincingly fake being a redhead is because true redheads are genetically different. Specifically, they have a mutation on their MC1R gene, according to the National Institutes of Health. So now you can tell all of your redhead friends that they're legit mutants. So what does that mutation do? And how did it give Reba McEntire and Jessica Chastain those swoon-worthy locks? In a nutshell, it increases the amount of the red pigment that gingers have and decreases the amount of the darker pigment they produce. That's what causes redheads to have fairer skin, freckles, pale-colored eyes, and of course, red hair. The 2%. Believe it or not, redheads account for only 2% of the population worldwide. According to Red, A History of the Redhead by Jackie Collis Harvey. The genetic mutation is more common in places like Northern and Western Europe, where redheads in turn make up higher percentages of the population. So for the most part, gingers are a rare breed, far outnumbered by the yellow and brown-haired members of our species. The main reason gingers are so rare is because the genetic mutation for being redheaded is a recessive trait. That means that in order to be born with those famous crimson locks, both parents have to be a carrier of the gene. They don't have to be redheads themselves though, which is why gingers can sometimes be an unexpected surprise. Favorites for television. Although redheads are only a small fraction of the world's population, they're overrepresented in television commercials, according to a study conducted by Upstream Analysis. During peak television viewing hours, 30% of commercials will include at least one person with red hair. More often than not, it's redheaded ladies who are spotted. They're twice as likely to be in a commercial than their male counterparts. How's that for evidence that everyone loves a ginger?
I love those redheads, man.
I know you.
Responses to pain. The mutation on the MC1R gene that gives gingers their unique coloring doesn't just affect the way they look. In a curious twist, gingers also feel pain and respond to pain-killing agents differently than their blonde and brunette counterparts. Redheads are more sensitive to certain kinds of pain, according to a study by the National Institutes of Health. The study also concluded that redheads are more resistant to the local anesthetic lidocaine than the rest of us, so they'll need more on the operating table. That said, apparently our redheaded sisters respond better to opiates than both men and non-ginger ladies, according to Science Daily. Who knew gingers had all kind of medical magic going on? Vitamin D machines. There's even more sorcery afoot when it comes to redheads and their genetic superpowers. According to the Big Redhead book, gingers make more vitamin D in their bodies than the rest of us. That's thanks to evolution and to the concentration of redheads in cloudy European countries, helping them manufacture more vitamin D more efficiently today. By extension, gingers don't need to spend as much time in the sun as others do to hit their needed vitamin D levels. That's a good thing considering how sensitive to the sun pale-skinned redheads can be. Emergency? Find a redhead. If you're ever in an emergency, you'd be fortunate to have a redhead on your squad to help you get through it. That's because redheads have superior adrenaline function. Not only do they produce more of the hormone compared to other folks, but they also can access it more speedily than the rest of us. That means that redheads can operate better in fight or flight situations, which would definitely give them a better chance of survival.
You are a badass.
A whole different smell. It sounds crazy, but it's true. Redheads have such a unique biochemistry that they smell different than the rest of the population. This was first recorded all the way back in 1866 by Dr. Augustine Galopin. In his book, Galopin theorized that women smell differently based on their hair color. While Galopin's findings weren't exactly scientific, there's definitely science at work when it comes to the bouquet of gingers. That's because their skin mantle, the invisible layer over the skin, is more acidic than everyone else's. That means when a redhead sprays perfume or applies scented oil, it smells different than it does on blondes or brunettes. It also doesn't last as long, so redheads may have to reapply any scent sooner. Hot and cold. Do you have a redheaded friend who's always complaining that it's too hot or too cold? Do you just write her off thinking she's just being fragile? Science is on the side of our redheaded friends. The same study that proved that gingers need more anesthetic than non-gingers also validated your cold redheaded friend, as it showed that redheads are more sensitive to thermal pain. That means she really is more vulnerable to the extremes of hot and cold temperatures. There's clearly no end to the mysteries. Other disadvantages. It's clear that redheads have all kinds of superpowers that separate them from the rest of us. But being a part of the ginger tribe isn't always advantageous, especially when it comes to certain diseases and conditions. For one, on top of not being able to tan well, redheads are more susceptible to developing skin cancers like melanoma, according to Science Daily. Fortunately, scientists have shown that there are ways to decrease the risk beyond limiting sun exposure, and they're hoping that their research will lead to the development of a pharmacological solution.